you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast, dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Cynthia, and I am here today with my co-host, Sarah.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How about you?
A little tired. Had a birthday party this weekend, and so we entertained at our house, and I'm just tired now.
And it's Monday.
Yeah, it is.
Monday blues. But here we are. We're going to discuss something, a craze that's going on, especially in social media. So waist training, waist trainers. Have you ever used one, Sarah?
No. I mean, I've worn shapewear, but this is sounding a little too close to a corset, so
exactly.
I have not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you. I've never used a waist trainer, but I thought this is something important to discuss. Mm-hmm. Again, just because it's all over Instagram, it's all over different websites, different blogs, and I just wanted to kind of dive in deeper and see what's, the waist training craze. So unfortunately, we know that body types are a trend. So that's just what it is. And the hourglass figure has regained a lot of popularity in recent years. And celebrities like the Kardashians, Jessica Alba, Jennifer Lopez, and many more have helped bring curves back to the spotlight. And many influencers and other public figures claim that they have achieved these curvaceous figures and snatched waist with the help of waist trainers.
Snatched waist?
Mm-hmm. So so that term, snatched waist, I've been hearing it everywhere. It's pretty much just saying, like, you have a tiny waist.
I mean, I think for me, I hear the word cinched waist in that, but snatched, okay.
Yeah, it's something, that I started hearing the Kardashians say and other celebrities. So again, that's kind of the whole being snatched ties in with the waist training trend right now.
I probably spend more time in Victorian era books than I do watching the Kardashians. So that's where I get cinched.
I don't try to watch their show, but I feel like I can't get away from them because they're everywhere.
They are.
So it's like I kind of, watch bits and pieces there. And there's different forms of waist trainers. There's also like now sweatbands you can wear while working out, which, to be honest, I feel like that would make me very uncomfortable having something really tight wrapped around my core while I'm like sweating and exercising.
Wouldn't that affect your breathing as well?
Exactly. And I might dive more into the possible like health concerns and dangers of waist training for long periods of time. So we're going to get into that later. So right now we're going to dive into pretty much the history of women squishing our organs for beauty.
And that's what you're doing, people.
Exactly. You are. I know. And so to begin, waist trainers, again, they're a type of modern day corset that squeezes and shapes the body to clinch the waist, giving the illusion of bigger hips, bigger butt, and breasts. The first corset dates back to the late 1500s, according to fashiontime.org. Since then, the original design has altered quite a bit, but with the same adverse health effects and the same purpose that comes along with clinching one's waist. So this has been, since the beginning of time, women trying to, it almost seems like you're trying to remove a rib or something for a smaller waist. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, my opinion, a little bit ridiculous. Traditionally, corsets were called a pair of bodies or stiffened bodices. Mm-hmm. stiffened bodices are displayed in portraits of Venetian females around the 1530s. And during these times, the bodices were usually a part of the dress. So they weren't undergarments how they are now. They were part of the dress. And during the 17th century, the bodice became separated and became its own garment. During this time, corsets developed a more cone-style shape, which was usually constructed from two pieces of fabric, which were boned. These were commonly referred.
And that's exactly what it sounds like, people. It's usually whalebone.
It is. It is. It's made of
actual bones,
which is crazy because it's like, why would you want to harm your body in that way? Like, oh my God, that just seems like so uncomfortable and like how you mentioned earlier, hard to breathe.
For those of you who are fans of the Little House books, and I do the book review podcast, so the one thing that sticks out in my brain from the very first one, Little House in the Big Woods, is they're at a party and Ma is talking to friends and saying that when she got married, when she was 17, Pa, Charles, could span his waist with his hands.
What?
Because of the corset. So, yeah, I mean, just think about that. Who knows how big his hands were, but still, you should not be able to put your hands around someone's waist.
Right.
Unless they're, 3.
Yeah, I actually read about that, too. I think it was in, like, the Guinness Book of Records or something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's waist is, how you said, like, you can literally have your hands touching around her waist.
Wow.
I'm not sure. She might have had a rib or two removed.
Very possible.
Very possible. But, yeah, it's insane now. So, as I was saying, these bodices were commonly referred to as stays and were held together at the front with the busk. And then towards the end of the 17th century, women wore skirts, jackets with the bodice as underwear. So as I stated before, it was first part of the dress. And at this time, it was back then, stiffened bodices. They used your actual measurements. So it was tailored to your exact body type and your measurements. And as we've progressed over centuries and decades, they're obviously not measured exactly to your waist size or other body measurements.
Right.
And so then in the 1880s, there was a rising popularity of the pear-shaped corset, which literally bent inwards around the stomach area. During Victorian times, corsets could now be mass-produced due to new technology in manufacturing. And these previously had to be custom-made, again, to one's measurements. But during World War I, fashion changed and women could look more elegant without wearing corsets, which is when the tight lacing had disappeared and it shifted more towards the elastic. The elastic took its place, which provided more movement. So
thank you to whoever came up with elastic.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so I'm going to jump in here again. Sorry to interrupt you, but women wore these when they were pregnant. And
wow,
which I know that there were health issues. I mean, we're talking about the 15 to the 1800s, so there were health issues of all kinds. But I just can't figure that's good to be squashing the baby.
Right.
Into
I did not know that women were pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of women wearing waist trainers for long periods of time, especially after having a baby. Mm-hmm. Jessica Alba did mention that supposedly due to her constantly wearing a waist trainer, she was able to attain her pre-baby body, which, I mean, I've never had a kid, but I'm not 100% sure if you can really get your pre-baby body back 100% in that way. Right.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem realistic to me.
And you shouldn't do it in 6 weeks like celebrities try to do. I mean, come on. I don't know. Take care of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Don't.
I know.
We have a body image issues in this country.
Absolutely. I agree. Clearly, women have been suffering in this uncomfortable garment for centuries, and it wasn't until the 1920s that the widely desired silhouette figure had changed from an hourglass to a thinner figure. And then during this time, girdles manufactured from plastic appeared, and then the idea behind these were to control the waist and hips without constricting, because like I said, even way back then, women have always had an issue with these undergarments being extremely uncomfortable.
Right. So think in the 20s and 30s, dresses became straighter, like think of the flapper style. So you wouldn't want, you didn't have an hourglass figure in a flapper style dress. Mm-hmm. And so it was Again, it's still not suitable for every body type because not everyone is, kind of straight up and down like that.
Right. So, and then the girdle was popular instead of corsets through the 1940s. So that's kind of when the corsets took a step back, girdles came up. And then throughout these years, corsets were still seen for erotic means, but it had disappeared from popular fashion. Mm-hmm. And then during the 1970s, the punk movement brought corsets back, and these were often worn as outerwear as punks would wear old-fashioned lingerie, which I've seen even to this day, not even just punk, punk stars. I've seen other people wear it as like a staple fashion statement. They wear the corset over like a big white tee. So, yeah, I mean, it comes and goes, the corsets, and many designers help to bring back the corset as they became a part of the mainstream again. Pop stars like Madonna and Cyndi Lauper can be seen wearing them during the 80s, and today celebrities like, as I mentioned before, Jessica Alba and others can be seen bringing back the corset and the waist training craze. So it's honestly, this whole subject is baffling to me a little bit, just because I'm like, women really like to suffer. Beauty's pain. That's what they say.
That's what they say, but I don't know. Give me a good pair of sweatpants.
No, I agree with you, Sarah. I live in athleisure wear, sweatpants. That's when I feel my most confident, honestly. So I'm not too sure how I feel about wearing a waist trainer. I've even heard people wearing waist trainers even when they go to sleep.
Oh.
That is when your body needs to rest.
Yeah, you really got to give your body a rest sometimes. Yeah, I even know people who sleep in bras, which, I mean, also you're supposed to, the muscles in your breasts need a break from underwears. So that's a different podcast. But
right. So we're going to go on our first quick break. And when we come back, we're going to discuss more about waist training. Is it safe? Does it work? So we'll be right back.
Still on the search of that one true love? On the limbo in this crazy world of dating, marriage, relationships? Well, listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Relationship Podcast, your one-stop podcast for everything about relationships.
Waist training and the big craze around waist trainers and pretty much a little bit of the health concerns that come along with it, which we're going to dive even more into right now. So I'm going to talk about a specific waist training brand. There's so many out there now, but this one specifically works very closely with the Kardashian family. And I mention them a lot during this podcast just because I feel that this family has definitely heightened the craze. So again, this company called Waist Gang Society works. The name, right?
Waist Gang Society. I mean, that's not I don't know. It doesn't. It's either a really threatening gang or it's like the worst gang ever.
Right. I don't know if I want to be part of this gang. I'm not trying to be part of the Waist Gang Society.
No.
But I'm going to read to you guys the claim that's on their website. So, and I quote, Waist Gang Society high quality reshaping waist shaper is a unique latex material which attacks unwanted fat and impurities within your body. We need to stop right there.
Okay, yeah, can we?
We need to pause there.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I was like,
okay, I clearly don't have the research on this, but that just doesn't sound accurate to me. Latex that attacks unwanted impurities, is that a thing?
That's what I say. That's why I was like, there's no way this is true. You can't put this out to the public and expect people to believe this, but you'd be surprised. people really eat this up and believe.
Well, I'm sure we're always looking for a magic cure or a magic pill or something that, is going to work to attack fat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just by that first sentence, I had to take a step back and be like, is this real?
Yeah.
Is this company serious right now?
Okay.
But moving on. Our reshaping line will strengthen your core, all while improving your posture. The thermogenesis created within your body will allow your body to get rid of harsh toxins and impurities through perspiration. So pretty much claiming that you sweat and you're releasing all this toxic impurities out of your body due to the waist trainer making you sweat, which again, not too sure about that.
I mean, I know athletes wear, like sweatshirts with the hoods up and, things like that, especially like UFC trainer or fighters when they're trying to make weight. But that's not healthy either.
It's definitely not. So, and again, I don't want to be going throughout my day sweating from my core all day. Like, I already sweat a lot just me alone, so I don't want a waist trainer to help me sweat even more.
Right, and then taking it off at the end of the night, a little sweaty latex. That's
right, and it's just smelly.
Yeah.
No, thank you. And again, I'm going to continue reading the claim that Waist Gang Society, it's on their website. While wearing a garment or waist trainer, the tight compression will help to reduce food volume intake, which will help achieve the healthier practice of smaller meals more often rather than 3 large meals a day. All right. I have a lot to say about this one, especially because I come from a fitness background. I am a certified personal trainer, and that is completely false. It's healthy. It's good to eat 3 large meals a day. Your body needs that. So it just sounds to me that the purpose of this garment is to just suppress your appetite, and that's not healthy either. So
yeah, I mean, and there's been so many different various theories on this. You should eat breakfast. No, you don't need to eat breakfast. 3 large meals, 6 meals throughout the day. I mean, it's just a million different things. But I don't know if you're wearing something that's constricting you so you don't feel hungry. That just sends up red flags for me.
Absolutely. It just doesn't sound right. And there's other products now being sold to the public about suppressing one's appetite. Like I saw one that claims that a lollipop, just by licking a lollipop, will suppress your appetite for like 3 to 4 hours.
Okay.
Right. Like that's crazy to me, especially young girls who are watching, these advertisements. Like what kind of message is that saying to the younger population?
And unfortunately, it's just a new attempt at what's been going on for, centuries, obviously, with the corset being from the 1500s. But even think of all the diet pills, things that then caused so many health problems. They caused birth defects. They caused, women to have massive side effects and had to be taken off the market. There's always something that's being touted as the next big thing that's going to make you have the perfect body. But there's no such thing as the perfect body. Your body is your perfect body.
Exactly. I love that. I love that you said that. Your body is the perfect body. As long as you feel great, you feel strong and healthy, that's all that matters. So, yeah. And I brought up Waist Gang Society because the following study that I'm going to share with you guys, it is from the Tech Insider, which is a digital publication focused on examining the areas of tech, science, innovation, and culture. And the Tech Insider actually did a study on Waist Gang Society. So I just wanted to first introduce the company to you all, and I'm going to dive more into waist training. Do the experts support it? Do they believe that this product works? Is it safe? All the other good stuff. So many medical experts are warning consumers pretty much about the dangers and possible side effects, health problems associated with using a waist trainer for long periods. And according to the Tech Insider, they asked a doctor, dietitian, and certified personal trainer to weigh in on this social media trend. So according to Jim White, he is a certified dietitian as well as a gym owner and personal trainer. He explains to Tech Insider that most of the time waist trainers are quick fixes and they work for only a short period of time, but not for long-lasting health, which is pretty much what we've been saying throughout this entire podcast, that obviously when you have a waist trainer on you at the moment, it's obviously going to shrink your waist.
Right,
because
like
you're wearing
shapewear, you know, when you put that on so that you've got the smoother lines or whatever. But even with shapewear, I'm like, oh, goodness, can't breathe.
Right. Right. So, I mean, be careful, people, especially like I definitely would not recommend wearing this at the gym while you're working out.
No.
That's just like I feel like
you
people
need
would
as
pass
much
out.
oxygen as possible. Yeah. Oh, speaking of passing out, you know, the next quote says that, you know, shortness of breath, nausea, fainting, and bruising are just some of the common side effects. But you know, couches that have like the one arm on one end but nothing on the other end, and maybe they have like a back that goes about halfway down. Those are specifically designed. They're called fainting couches. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Women in corsets so often fainted that they needed somewhere to land.
Wow.
So fainting couches were designed so that when they got lightheaded, they had some place to sort of gracefully drape themselves.
Oh my God, I learn something new every day. I did not know that.
An entire piece of furniture was invented. Let's not get rid of the corset. Let's just make a new couch.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you guys knew that already, because I had no idea there's literally furniture made for this type of thing.
Yeah.
Wow. So, as Sarah mentioned, it can cause shortness of breath, nausea, all that other stuff that you don't want. And it can also cause long-term use of the product could cause permanent organ and nerve damage, which makes sense because, again, you're just squeezing all your organs and pushing everything into the center of your core, literally.
Right. I mean, the fat's still there. It's just being squished into other places and, squishing other things.
Right. And also, within Tech Insider, they asked Dr. Gina Sam, who is a gastroenterologist and director of the Gastrointestinal Motility Center at the Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. That was long.
Yeah, can you imagine that on your Christmas card?
For short, Dr. Sam and Jim White both stated that these waist trainers are only helpful for a short-term fix to create an illusion while you wear them, but they both state that they do not recommend for long periods and that there are serious side effects, health side effects. And even more dangerous, that this company, Waist Gang Society, along with other waist training companies, have told their followers that they've worked out in the waist trainer. So again, people are actually using this product in the gym, which is just, again, crazy to me.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm going to leave everybody on that note. Think about that really quick. We're going to go on our second break. And when we come back, we're going to continue discussing about the dangers of waist training.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Right before the break, we were discussing about some of the side effects of waist training, and we're going to continue to dive deeper into the issue. So moving on, Rebecca Harrington, she is a reporter for New York Magazine. She tested out this theory. She wore the waist trainer to a spin class.
Ow.
Yeah.
I mean, standing upright seems painful, but bending over a bicycle, stationary bike? Wow.
I know. That's crazy. And she tried the waist trainer, and she's stated that she felt winded just by walking to the gym.
Wow.
She hasn't even actually worked out yet.
Oh, jeez.
She said, and she says she started spinning, and she felt very out of breath. She had to loosen the corset, and she eventually took it off mid-class because she said she literally just could not breathe, and she felt like she was going to pass out. So people, again, I highly suggest do not wear this to a spin class or
any other exercise class.
Right. So not everyone is a fan of these waist snatchers, I'm calling them. Waist Gain Society recently settled actually a $5 million class action lawsuit after a customer sued on the grounds that the product did not produce any weight loss results as advertised. So
I have comments there, but I'm just going to keep them to myself. I mean, they're just, wow.
Right. So, I mean, like I said, be smart consumers. You know, don't believe everything that's plastered everywhere. It's advertisement. They're able to put anything on the advertisement to try and sell you. They want your money. Mm-hmm. So, and as Sarah said earlier in the podcast, there's no quick fix to the perfect body. So we need to stop looking for it.
And, you know, advertisers ads are basically just emotional manipulation. They target all the things that, you know, all your weak points. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way, but, you know, oh, you know, you don't want to look fat. You want to look like this person. You don't want to look like this. You know, they target those socially constructed ideas of beauty.
You're absolutely right. And Dr. Sam, who was in the Tech Insider study case, explains the only way companies can actually tell people that these products actually work is by conducting a randomized controlled study. So that's literally the only way they can actually advertise to the public. You know, we collected these random individuals, tested out the theory, and it works. But unfortunately, she says there are no studies of this kind. So these waist training companies should not be saying or falsely advertising that it's going to help shrink your waist. It's going to remove impurities out of your body. It's going to help you drop fat. All of that stuff is not true. We just have to clear the air there. It's not true. And based on other expert opinions, waist trainers, again, they can change the shape of your body temporarily, but do not recommend for long-term use. And these claims about these products improving posture, strengthening your core, and all the other stuff that they claim are all false. So here I'm going to come in from my fitness background. So how exactly can one shrink their waist? This is the truth, you guys. Just a healthy, nutritious diet paired with regular exercise. There is no shortcut.
You're just mean.
I know. I'm crushed again. Like, I'm sorry. I wish it could be just as easy as drinking matcha, putting on a waist trainer,
right.
all that other magic stuff that is out there. But it's not true, people.
Well, and the other thing is, you know, I mentioned earlier, everyone's body type is different. So sometimes no matter how much you diet and exercise, you could be really, really healthy, but you're not going to have what you think of maybe as the ideal body type that you see on TV. You could be short. You know, if you're 5 foot nothing, you're probably not going to have the same body type as someone who's 6 feet tall.
Exactly. So there's body types. There's so much that goes into it besides like your bone structure and all that other stuff. And really, if your goal is to drop weight or fat, the most important thing is making sure you're in a caloric deficit. So my simplistic answer of what it means to be in a caloric deficit diet is just making sure that you're moving more, eating less. So making sure that the amount of calories you're consuming is less than what you are burning.
So real world example. Me eating birthday cake for breakfast this morning while sitting at my computer, probably not causing a caloric deficit.
We're calling that a cheat meal, Sarah. We're going to let that one slide. It's a cheat meal.
You know, there was leftover birthday cake. It seemed like a good breakfast option.
Right? You're like, it was a good breakfast option.
It had peanut butter. That's healthy.
There's protein, right? Protein. Right. But yeah, you guys, I'm sorry. That's just the truth. Nutritious, healthy diet paired with regular exercise. You're going to live long, healthy, happy lives that way. So ditch the waist trainer. That's just my opinion. You can still wear it if you want, but that's just what I believe. And I can, you know, to conclude, providing, you know, everything that's been said about waist training companies, I think the short answer to does it work? Is it safe? I think the short answer is no. It's a hoax. There's no proof out there that waist trainers actually help users lose weight or reshape their bodies. So I'm sorry.
Wear one if you want. If you're going as, I don't even know, Rosemary Clooney in White Christmas with her hourglass figure. If that's what you're dressing up as, wear a waist trainer. But it's not going to work for long term.
Right. So please don't wear it to sleep. Don't wear it to the gym. I mean, let your body rest. Let your body breathe. Like, it's fine. We don't all need to have a 19 to 21 inch waist.
Good grief.
Right? Like, that's just, it's not doable for everybody.
They're finally making Barbie more realistic. You don't need to wear a waist trainer.
Right? Exactly. If they're making Barbie more realistic, then you already know. Times are changing. So on that note, we're going to end the show here today. And thank you, Sarah, for joining me on this conversation about waist training.
Thank you.
And let's go have some more birthday cake.
Okay.
I'm kidding. You're like, okay. All right. Catch us next week on the GSMC Health and Wellness podcast for more health and wellness information. Stay well, everybody.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.